I think I've got a Union Jack there embroidered into my trousers and the traditional 70s bowl cut.
We all know Dominic Raab has plans for the future, but for the first time today, he wanted to show a little more of his past.
And how old were you when your dad passed away?
So Dad died when I was 12.
So that must have been pretty tough.
It's pretty tough, of course it was, and I think the thing with any loss in life is it teaches you about preciousness. So I spend a lot of time with my boys and want to be a very hands-on dad.
His father came to Britain after fleeing the Nazis in Czechoslovakia, a story of a second chance in life, which Dominic Raab says he now wants to afford others.
There was also the opportunity that this country gave a young lad with no English, who went to a grammar school, got a good job, didn't go to university, and that opportunity society, that vision of fairness, I think is something that we need to revive and revitalise for young people today.
You talk about fairness, but you in the past have called feminists obnoxious bigots. You said people who use food banks simply have a cash flow problem. You want to abolish the Equalities Office. Is your version of fairness everyone else's version of fairness?
Well, look, everyone has a different view about how we make this country fairer. You've taken a few selective snippets. The reality is on something like the comments that I made, not about feminism, but about those people who talk a good game on equality, but then go and say sexist thing about men. I think that's just double standards.
But you're arguing for equality and fairness, and you can't tell me that you'd maintain the Equalities Office, the very office that promotes equality and fairness in Britain.
So I can tell you absolutely I will retain a very strong commitment at a political level and in government to promote equality.
Would you describe yourself as a feminist?
No, probably not. But I would describe myself as someone who's a champion of equality and meritocracy.
Perhaps keen to soften what has been a hard image. A boxer since his teens, a black belt in karate. A man who insists he can fight his way to a better Brexit deal.
You negotiated a Brexit deal, then you resigned over that Brexit deal, then you voted for that Brexit deal. What does that say about your consistency as a politician?
I think it probably says more about the selective way you've presented the question.
Are any of those things untrue?
Yeah, they are untrue. I did negotiate as part of the negotiating team, but as you know, I resigned because the Prime Minister didn't take my advice. And I think if I'd have been backed up then and not undermined by others in government, we'd have had a much better chance of getting a deal over the line.
As for getting himself over the line, he admits he's not the favourite.
Oh, look, I think Boris is probably the front runner and he's a prolific campaigner. So maybe I'll be the underdog, but I'll be the underdog fighting for the underdog.
If that's enough to convince Tory members, the next chapter of his family history may begin in Downing Street. Paul Brand, ITV News.